You don't really care about the Epstein files, do you? Because, let's be honest, if we really cared about the Epstein files, we would do something about it. But then we come to a thought that even if we try to do something about it, what can we really do? And then we think that these billionaires are bad and, blah, 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 and they should be punished. And how are they roaming free? Before starting this, there was a study. I need to tell you about this study. I'm very loosely quoting it. It might be completely wrong or something like that, but it worked something like this. There was a cage and a mouse was put in it, and they attached some sort of cocaine type material, like sugar or cocaine or something like that, which is kind of addictive in nature. They started giving it to the mouse, and the mouse had to press a button. They saw that as soon as the mouse pressed the button, he got the whatever the thing was, sweet, and then he got a dopamine hit. Because of the dopamine hit, he went around for some time, and then he came back for the dopamine hit again. And then they increased the intensity of the dopamine hit. The mouse got even more hooked to it. After a point, they stopped it, and the mouse got frustrated, and then they gave it back to him, and then he was happy again. And then they saw that they could control the mouse and its behavior according to how much dopamine they feed him or her or it. The moral of the story is social media is that dopamine to you. Do you really see it yet? Now, think about it, right? Before this particular thing happened, before the Epstein files happened, you really thought pedophilia was a bad thing. The people who did it were monsters and this and that. And now, all of a sudden, people are making jokes about it. People are saying कि Stephen Hawking क्या कर रहा था? What was Stephen Hawking doing on the Epstein Islands, right? People were making jokes about how he's whatever, he cannot move his body, and then making innuendos essentially about what he was doing. And by the way, those jokes were extremely funny. I'm not trying to be woke here, right? But all the jokes related to Epstein files were funny. But the point here is, you don't really care about it, right? Because now we have come to a point where we have become kind of desensitized to the entire idea of pedophilia. Really think about it, because before this, that was a taboo subject. You did not really talk about it, right, to people. Now people discuss it freely. Now people are making memes on it. When something becomes a meme, it essentially becomes a joke, and if it becomes a joke, it is not serious anymore, or at least as serious as it should be before. That made me realize that we try to have like free thought, right? People nowadays have the ability to express everything. They have social media platforms which give them the right to speak up, and it is democratic in nature and this and that. But really think about it. Apart from a few bunch of people who really express their opinions, most of the people are either regurgitating the garbage that they see on media. For us, our generation, the new generation, and a lot of old folks too, the media has become social media now, right? So they see anything on social media, they regurgitate that particular thing. If someone's feed is against, for example, Israel, they would speak up against Israel, and vice versa for Iran, right? Nobody really has their own opinions, because to form opinions you need to do some critical thinking, and you need to have unbiased information, right? Most of all, because if you see a biased newspaper somewhere, your thoughts will be molded according to that. And you need to have critical thinking, but the critical thinking has been destroyed because you believe whatever you see on social media about everything, about gender identities, about what is right and wrong in war, about whose actions are justified, whose are not, about even the fucking type of whatever you are, right? The mental illness that you have, you are autistic all of a sudden, you are ADHD all of a sudden, because you saw a very detailed carousel from a very detailed doctor about how these are the 8 signs that you might have ADHD or autism or whatever, Down syndrome, man, I don't know. You don't even really diagnose yourself properly, and we have to think about how we have come here first of all, because if we have come here, we are essentially not resisting against anything, because pedophilia used to be a very big, and I'm saying pedophilia a lot, the YouTube algorithm might flag this video or something. Let's call it the P word, actually, pineapple. We'll call it pineapple. There is so much pineapple in the world right now, and there are so many people who have been accused of pineapple in the Epstein file. Oh my god, I cannot do this. Now I come to think about how it will have like real life consequences, because you don't really care if a billionaire goes to jail, do you? Real life consequences might be this thing gets so normalized that people think it is actually normal. A lot of fucked up people will go to an extent of thinking that this is just normal. People make jokes about it. Obviously it is normal. There are impressionable kids out there in the open who are making, like 13-year-olds who are making jokes about how Epstein Islands is so funny, bro, and you know what Stephen Hawking did when he was on Epstein Islands, this and that. You are 13. You are not supposed to think like that. You first of all should not be exposed to shit like this. But more importantly, you should not be making jokes about it, because you don't know, you are 13, you don't know the gravity of the situation. But there are a lot of people who are making jokes about it, bro. A lot of people will think that this is just, another meme, this and that. But we have been desensitized. And now I think, what are they trying to, when I say they, I'm talking about like the people who control the media and this shit. What are they trying to normalize us for? Because with COVID, this is another chapter by the way, with COVID, they essentially normalized lockdown, right? You can just be locked down government says you cannot go out of your place and you have to obey, right? There is no location freedom, which is a fundamental right if you really think about it, because obviously there was an emergency and this and that, which came out to be a constructed virus and this and that, all of that happened, right? But there was lockdown and the government imposed it on you and you complied. Now there is Epstein files, which is kind of making fun of pedophilia, and all the names are coming out. Bill Gates is coming out, Donald Trump is coming out, a lot of Bill Clinton is coming out. All of these names, all they do is just appear to jury trials, which are again broadcasted to the entire world, which is then again made fun of. And there are so many things going on. You know about everything. If you knew about just the Epstein files, you would care about it. But there is Epstein files, and then there is something happening in the Middle East. There is a whole fucking war where Dubai is being attacked all of a sudden. Yeah, all of this is happening, and then there is China doing something, and then there is India doing something, and there is so much to look forward to because Billie Eilish recently won a Grammy and Kendrick broke all the records. You know about everything. Because you know about everything, you don't really care about anything. And we have been desensitized to that level. This shows in every other thing as well, right? It is not just that the people don't listen. People also don't talk about it. If you're frustrated mentally, you don't really want to talk to anyone about it. There is no human connection here. When you're frustrated, you don't want to talk about it to anyone. Then you just go back to scrolling more media, which is making you even more desensitized, which is frying your brain even more. You're doing all of this to again numb yourself and fall into the cycle back. And that is just insanity to me, man.